If you're scaling your ads but barely breaking even, this is probably why. We help clothing brands scale profitably without guesswork, without creating burnout, and without relying on TikTok virality, which I'm not opposed to. So one of our clients that we were spending at just $30 a day has now scaled to over $3,000 a day through our OSO program. I will show you the numbers to prove this to you. And they did this profitably using the exact tactics I'm about to show you right now. If you're running ads, seeing sales, but barely keeping anything after the spend, stick around because this is why you're stuck. So before we dive into the tactics, I want to show you what actually powers all of this. You're going to go inside the creative process document, the exact system that we use to track, analyze, and iterate on ad concepts that scale profitably. We don't just take the guesses, we log every test, persona, hook, offer, angle, and the results. But then a creative isn't enough. That's why we also build out a research framework to make sure that our hooks are rooted in real customer desire. So once messaging is logged, we execute using our content scaling strategy document, a system designed to find and multiply winners fast. And I'll walk you through all of this with all the visuals. So let's jump into it right now. There are 4 tabs across the bottom here, and this is obviously fake name company, but it could be you. With anything, you have to have an actual desire. And if you've seen our other previous videos on storytelling and solving problems and using that type of framework, this will make more sense for you. But the mass desires, right? So everybody wants, for example, the status, the family, the friendships. They want these for the brand. I broke this out to more so a pretend or a fictional company. So they'll have the desires that they want. I want to this. So you want to solve this problem. Okay, so these are the desires. Next, we have the features and benefits. Okay, so you would want to go through and say, okay, what is the actual product name? What is the feature that it has? What is the benefit? And then the matching desire. So this matching desire will be populated over here. This is all done through the spreadsheet. So this freedom, okay, this is actually one of the options here is freedom, the feeling of escaping the constraints of daily life and being untethered on the water. These are the mass desires, features and benefits that will lock into them, and you need to know what the product is, whether this is a hoodie, and then, for example, we have a brand that we've been working with out of Sweden, so they have a hoodie, and then the feature for one of the things here is that it's 500 GSM, which, again, nobody cares about, but what's the benefit for that? Helps with maybe potentially anxiety, makes them feel more comfortable. It's basically like a blanket. This one says UV protection, shields skin from harmful rays. So the sun is not beating down on you, giving you a sunburn, ultimately causing cancer to your early demise, if you really want to go that way. So we'd pick the desire for that, and then pick the one that corresponds, and then we would go through all the different products, all the different features that they have. We also get into the customer avatar. This information is basically pulled over from this document, which is our struggling avatar document. It breaks down more so who is your customer, why are you marketing to them, what is the problem that they have, and it goes from like this. You go from struggling avatar here to we'll call a unique solution, which will be your clothing line. So I would mention here, so like this person's problem, everything we know about this person right now. So they're 35 to 60-year-old men. They live in the coastal areas, or they would like to live there. What are some of the characteristics of this person? They're adventurous, etc. But they have different problems, both internal and external. So we need to know what those are. That's the struggling part. So you fill out the struggling avatar. And then you have the unique solution. Okay, the unique solution is your product to the market. For example, this person may say, hey, I'm super adventurous. I love to go to the ocean. I love to spend time on the lake. Therefore, I want to spend more time there. However, the problem is I can't because I'm getting older now. Maybe they're 55. And not saying that's old, don't come at me, but they're getting older and they can't spend as much time out there because the sun's just absolutely destroying their skin. Well, that's where the features and benefits here is our product. With this one right here, it offers UV protection. It allows them to have the memories. Struggling avatar has a problem with his skin now because he's quote unquote older, and unique solution is our UV protection, full length, I would say long sleeve, I guess. And then you have future pace hero. So then their life is now better because of that. Again, you're guiding them. You should always position yourself as the guide, not the hero. So they're the hero over here who has the problem. Their story arc is that they find this long sleeve UV protection shirt and then their life is better. Now they get the girl, now they get the guy, now they get to go back to fishing again. You have to be able to tell those stories. So you fill this document out, the struggling avatar. A lot of times you realize that you are actually the struggling avatar. You created the product. At least the brands that we work with, if you are $10 million, $15 million and below, you're typically your one avatar. And once you can expand past that, but typically you're the avatar. So there are 3 documents, like I mentioned: struggling avatar, unique solution, future paced hero. If you want all 3 of those worksheets to figure out with your brain, just comment the word avatar down below. We'll send that over to you. Okay, so back to this creative process, because I promise it does make sense. Once you have the customer avatar, you'll be able to know more about them, the more problems that we can actually solve. This allows us to create a creative roadmap. Most people run ads very subjectively. Cool image, cool video, subjective opinion. Run ad, doesn't work. Why? Spend maybe didn't match, didn't actually solve a problem, didn't position yourself as the guide, you position yourself as the hero, right? You should never be like, well, this shirt is super lightweight, we're the hero in the story. Not gonna work too well. You've got to position yourself as the guide. And so you run into issues there, but nobody actually tracks it. They don't ever figure out why. And so this is why you have success with an ads manager, and as you become more profitable and able to scale, this becomes more of an advanced tactic, which is the whole point for this video. So we label everything. We always start with 101, you can do 100 if you would really like, but just start at 101 and then just batch through. Every single one of these is either active, it's a winner, we're planning, it's approved. So let's just go over here. We have a lifestyle concept with close-ups. It's a New Year's sale that we got going on. We have examples that are inside of Foreplay, which we put new creative into literally every single day. So you can pull up the Foreplay link and see, here is the examples that we were going after. Cool, we wanted to create something like this. Then the persona that we're going after, again, the customer avatar, we're going after the captain. What is their desire? This is all pulled in automatically, by the way, so you can pull this over here. Have multiple personas, but the captain, then we have the freedom here that we go off of. I also have the benefit in here as well, plug and play, the solution, your positioning. So like, what is this? These are all pre-filled out for us as well. So product testimonial is what's the benefit and solution, where are they at? There's these, without going crazy in depth here for this, because I'm just gonna hit on the marketing side for ads. I promise it'll make sense here without going crazy off. The market sophistication is already labeled here, and this is more of the hook pattern. So the first 3 seconds of the video or the visual cue on the image. And then start the year off right, 60% off site-wide, gear up for the family, adventures. Then this is the link inside of Ads Manager. We have results. Was this a winning ad? Great. Was it a poor ad? Tell us why. Great spin, poor CPA. Figure it out so that you can highlight it. I always like to say here, like, if it's winning, let's highlight it or change it or turn it off, right? You can label this as an actual winner. And then we can go back to them and create iterations of those ads. Then this is what it looks like directly in Ads Manager. And then our learnings, our notes, okay? And this is for every single client that we work with. This is also the same spreadsheet that we use inside of our OSO program. Again, they use this to fill out the creative process, because no matter what happens inside of Ads Manager, if you don't have something to objectively look at, to objectively go after whenever you're creating new ads, it's just going to be subjective opinion. Then it's just more like, who has the best subjective opinion? And a lot of times, most people guess incorrectly. Let the market decide, document your data, your findings, and then create iterations of that. Continue to find out more about who your audience is. Because again, if you don't know who your audience is, it's going to be very difficult to create content for them. Hey y'all, just wanted to say a quick hey, howdy, and hello. My name is Aaron. I'm one of the co-founders here, and alongside my business partner, Christian, we help build this channel for you, clothing brand owners. And our goal is to give you the tools to build a profitable clothing brand that could change you and your family's lives. If you found any value in this video so far, please give us a nice little like and subscribe. It is free and it really does help us. If you do this in the next 3 seconds, I will share with you where I went to school, and I'm also curious about yours. Scaling a product instead of a position is the first mistake. So reframe offers to speak identity and desire. So a quick example, instead of premium cotton hoodie, try the hoodie built to last 2,000 wears and turned heads at the skate park. But then many brands will struggle with cost per acquisitions, even their ads hit. We've dropped cost per acquisition 30% by just fixing the product pages and landing flows. Use the 3-click rule. So land, understand, add to cart in just 3 clicks. Amazon does this really well. And then when it comes to time to scale, we stack offers with probably one of the most important things about running ads effectively and more advanced, if you will, is not only following the creative process, but understanding how to scale it effectively. So we created this content scaling strategy document. Very simple, very effective when used correctly. So the number one thing you want to do is select a focus that you're going after. Is it evergreen? Can it be running for year round? Is it deep in stock? Is this going to be like a drop that you have? Have you had success selling it before? If you're just starting out, obviously you have not, so you would want to go differently. Would this product be for a collection, or is it a part of a different category? You need to know that. Then you need to find an offer, okay? I always say that other than storytelling, the second most important thing for your brand outside of a good product is making sure you have a good offer. I don't care if it's a discount, it can be free shipping, it could be a free gift. You don't have to give them a discount for it to be an offer. Next thing too is creative concepts. So you've seen them in ads, you probably have caught yourself like, hey, I like these, but they're all broken down into basically these 10 categories. So UGC, us versus them, using statistics, headlines, text graphics, features and benefits. We have links here that kind of take you all to foreplay boards, like what does a before and after look like? What does bullet points look like? And so when you click bullet points from inside of this document, it will tell you and share what it looks like here. So these are different bullet points and just different examples. The next thing is, what does the implementation look like? So like this, we say here, if you have a DCT, right? So this is pretty much changed. This is our new documentation says flexible, formally DCT. It's broken down here, but what's the timeline? When do you launch? When do you change? All of those things need to be outlined and updated. And then how do you review results and then continue to update creative? Well, the part that's missing for most people is that they don't update the creative by following the creative process, okay? So you can see that, and I'm not trying to complicate it by any means. So I want to break this down very simply, right? So you need to know who your struggling avatar is, so you go through that documentation. You go through the creative process and document it. And then the third, you gotta have your content scaling strategy document. So basically, 3 things need to happen here. You need to know exactly who your audience is. You need to have a process for objectively looking at the data, and then you need to have a proven system for scaling your content. And that is how you not only drop your cost per acquisition, it's how you scale your ads and go from spending $30 a day to $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a day. Hey y'all, so if you're looking to get more clarity on why your clothing brand isn't growing like it should be, you can schedule a free strategy call with us. All you need to do is pick a time on the calendar that works best for you. There's a link in the description down below, and these spots are absolutely limited, so go do that right now and let us help you figure out exactly what's holding your brand back and build a system that turns every single dollar into something that is profitable growth for your brand. Go check out the link. Okay, so let's go over to Ads Manager because I feel like this is probably the most important piece here to share with you guys. So I went back to February of 2023 when this brand entered our OSO program. It is now 2025. Doesn't matter. It's still valuable here today, no matter when you're watching this video. So $30 a day, lifetime, or 30 lifetime was the ads they were doing before. They also wrote something and did something, and where they eventually scaled it up in February of 2023 to $50 a day. And then as you can see right now, we are in the J month when I'm recording this in basically July, and it is at $2,900 a day, okay? So you can see here, let's just go all of 2023. I'll just show you this because I want to give you some context of how much was being spent and what was going on during that period. Okay, so during that period, we kept one campaign. We turned this one off. It's just now conversion here, and it's at $2,900 a day, like I mentioned. But in the year of 2023, we spent $86,000. We obviously went like this and then scaled up. To give you context, okay, in the last 30 days, where are we at? We spent $88,000 in the last 30 days, right? So we have 12x'd our spend by literally just following, and you can see inside of here too, right? There are 3-4 campaigns that are going on, multiple ads, but really not a ton of different ads. It's just following a proven process. The setup is very simple. A lot of our videos have it. I'll outline what it looks like here so that you can see. The setup is very, very simple. There's no advanced buttons that are pushed, and I know there's probably, don't get at me guys, I mean, I'll come here as well, but it's very, very simple. So right now we're doing CBO, campaign budget optimization. We're not doing Advantage Plus for this particular account. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try it, just for this setup. So one campaign budget. We have 2 different ad sets that we're testing that are constantly going back and forth to try to do and beat with the other one. And then we have ads. So that is it. And now we do suggest flexible. If you do not know what flexible is, then this is, like I said, this is more an advanced video. And if you don't know what flexible is or Advantage Plus and those terms are kind of throwing you off a little bit, my apologies. I just wanted to talk to the people more quote unquote advanced, so I apologize. But if you don't know what those terms are, we have plenty of other videos that are more entry level to that. But this part right here isn't really where you make up the money. Honestly, 2026, Meta's gonna do all of this. It's gonna take your product catalogs from Shopify and just run ads. You won't need an ads manager. Now, the smart people will know that they do need an ads manager. It's just gonna be more of a button pusher, but it's also the people who understand this stuff. This is what I'm teaching. This is the advanced part of Facebook ads. This is how you can take anything that is done outside of Ads Manager and apply it to Facebook ads, Instagram, TikTok, Google. It doesn't matter. But just for the intents and purposes of this video, I will show you really quickly. I would go to sales. You should always go for sales. Do not go for traffic. Anybody who tells you that, my goodness, please do not. We do not have the campaign set up the same way as an option anymore. You should read this information. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. You should label it. Go through campaign budget. Keep that the same. I'm not running catalog ads right now. I'm not going to be able to do anything with my audience testing. I'm going to keep it broad, so age, gender, location. You can do website and shop. We typically do website. Most of the time we've had more success with just website, which I know sounds counterintuitive, but that's just kind of the way that it works. Right now it's data set instead of a pixel, so I'm going to choose the Conversions API pixel. I'm always going to go for purchase. If you choose purchase and label purchase, but do not pick these as an option, it's going to affect you. Limit the controls. I'm going after the US. You can show more controls here. You can ask the minimum age. You also should still be able to further limit the places you're going after. So you click that button, and I'm going to just women, and I also, actually I think it's men I said I was going after, and then I said 35 to 60 is what I said earlier. So I'll write that out, and then change this to men. Please do not also reach more people that don't want it. Scroll through. It's going to give me all these examples of things that I would want. I don't do that. I upload my ads the way that I would like. I'm mimicking what I created from Foreplay. So I'll go find my Foreplay board. For example, I'm mimicking this. I'm putting it inside of Ads Manager. I'm coming up with a creative concept. I'm following my content scaling strategy document. And then I'm putting them in here. This side of Ads Manager, like I always tell people, I can teach you ads inside of Ads Manager probably in 20, 30 minutes, like just hands-on. We're going as slow as possible. You can fill it in 30 minutes. This stuff over here, this is the part that actually matters the most, right? You've got to know who your audience is. You've got to understand the process, and you got to be able to scale. And the way that I know this is because many of you guys watching this video are not able to scale to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 a day because you are thinking and hoping that the video is me building this out inside of Ads Manager, like we've always done. The problem is what I have found with the 300 plus clothing brands that we've helped in the last 12 months alone is that that stuff doesn't really matter that much. What really matters is this stuff back here. So therefore, every part of the journey sells, all of them. Even inside of the Ads Manager, it matters a little bit. This is the 90, this is the 10. That's how we scale systems, not just the actual spend. So imagine this, you're running $1,000 a day in Facebook ads, and it's not the guesswork. It's systematized, it's dialed, it's profitable. And if you want to see how we turn cold traffic into warm buyers using Instagram ads, and I break it down step by step of how to set that up, check out this video right here next. All right, y'all, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We truly do appreciate it. We will see you next time. And P.S., make sure you subscribe.